Delete your vision board. I'm dead serious about this because just watching at a picture of your future self is gonna do nothing when the code underneath the programming is running on malware. Because if you're programmed from scarcity and you're constantly making vision boards because you want this stuff, I want it, what's gonna happen? You're gonna trigger that scarcity code in your internal software. And what's gonna happen is you're going to get more frustrated, you're going to get more anxious, you're going to have more doubt, more fear. And what's going to end up happening? Well, of course, you're going to be more frustrated because you're going to be forcing the results and you're not going to get what you want. I mean, this honestly is what nobody tells you about manifestation and alchemy, right? You can stare at a picture of the love of your life, you can look at that business, you can look at that car, but if your code that has been programmed in your early on years has been programmed that love means anxiety, has been programmed that money is suffering, then you're probably gonna manifest nothing, right? So look at these key aspects. Look at that code because underneath it, there's three core psychological needs. It's most likely safety, control, or approval. So if your code has been written from lacking, for example, approval, what's gonna happen every time you're trying to manifest that specific person or you're trying to manifest business relationships or a trade? What is going to happen whenever you meet the right person? You're going to be looking for approval. You're going to be chasing out of a lack of approval. The same thing goes for, I'm a trader as well, so let me explain it for trading. When you see that good setup, you're going to fuck it up because that trade is going to fulfill that part of you that's empty, that approval that you're missing. So the real definition of manifestation that nobody tells you is that you manifest who you are on the inside because the kingdom of God is within. So if you're lacking those core needs, what's going to happen? Of course, you're going to get the same outcome unless you fix the code that your body, your nervous system is running on. Because now what's going to happen is making more money, finding love is going to give a trigger to your nervous system, and that's going to trigger that core psychological need. And that is the reason you fuck it all up. And that, my dear loser, is the reason why you fuck it all up, why you are messaging a girl 20 times a day. That's why you are sending that client 100 messages to follow up. Oh, please buy my product. You see what I mean? Because if you are in the right identity, if you're running on the correct code, you will never do that. Imagine you have a sales call and a person doesn't buy your product, right? If you would miss approval or safety, it doesn't matter. Let's say you're missing out on money. You don't feel safe financially or you don't have the approval. What's going to happen? You're going to be like, please, sir, please buy my product, buy my program. You will chase them away. It's the same with a girl. Imagine she says something weird, right? And you don't have approval. So you're chasing approval from that girl or guy, whatever. What's going to happen is you're going to be chasing, please, please give me that approval. Please, I'm not whole yet. Give me the approval. Do you think you're going to build a good relationship when you are missing that safety? You already got to be whole. So do you see how important it is that we fix the source? That's why I called my program the source protocol, because we got to fix the source code. And if we fix that, your nervous system is going to be running normal again. You're going to stay longer in the state. And how long you can hold a state will determine how successful you will become in whatever you will do. Love, business, whatever. So vision board, this one here, I just put, just be on it, right? Just be, because the kingdom of God is within. Be still and know that I'm God. So just be. Because if all your core needs are met, then you're not going to be chasing. Then you will experience real abundance. So this one will just show you the end result, right? In the physical plane. First, you have the physical plane. This is where all the results happen, right? It's your actions, your habits, your environment, the people you talk to on a daily basis. Very surface level stuff. Then we go one plane deeper, which is what we call the mental plane. So that would be the thoughts, your beliefs, your imagination, the emotions you experience, and even your self-concept. But then we have the deepest layer, and then we talk about the spiritual plane. What is the spiritual plane? Well, it's quite simple. It's your vibration, your essence, your consciousness. That's what the spiritual plane is. So if you're going to be using this, a vision board, what's going to happen? You're only going to be operating on the physical plane. You're only going to see the end result. You will not feel it. You will not have emotion about it. And that's one of the key things, as Neville Goddard said. Feeling within the end is feeling is a secret, right? But don't get this wrong. I'm still a big fan of visualization, but not with a vision board. Because if you just see it, it's not going to do anything. It's like putting a picture of a car on your phone. It's going to do something subconsciously. But if your code is not correct, if your source code is not correct, what's going to happen is you're going to see that car on your phone every day and you're going to be triggered because there's separation. You don't have it yet. There's no proof that you have it. So what is the real protocol to actually fix this and how to visualize correctly? So how I use visualization or how I use the protocol is quite simple. I do it with all the people I work with one-on-one. So what do? We do meditation. Because why do we do a meditation, Jordi? Why? Because a meditation is crucial, right? Because we get in the calm state. We are present, we are calm, we're detached from everything. That's the state we have to be in. Because if you think of somebody who's a very high achiever, they're always calm, focused, present. That's already the state that you have to be in. Ask yourself, the version that I need to be. Let's say you have your dream wife, your dream car, your dream business, whatever. Do you actually know how you will know how that guy looks? He might drive a Lamborghini in Dubai, but you don't know what he thinks like. You don't know what he feels like, and you don't know how he acts. You might know how he acts, but do you know how he acts when resistance shows up? No, you don't. So the key there to visualization is have that image. Fine. And you can do a meditation, you can do all these things, that's cool. But once you actually get into that meditative state, it's quite important to think about how would they think, how would they feel when they think that, and how would they act from that state. And tap into that. And that's what we call SATS meditation. But of course, I created the own version for the guys I work with. I cannot share that with you guys here, of course. That's why the guys pay me the big bucks. But basically, that's the essence, right? You got to do that stuff. If you're going to start visualizing like this, you're already going to be more convicted that it works. You're going to be acting from that state, and you're actually going to be living that visualization from embodiment instead of separation, because separation is the biggest mistake that people try to sell you. There is no separation, because once there is separation, resistance shows up. That's the whole key in the universe, right? Do you see that? Let me explain that to you. So when you see something and you can't find a proof for it, it is separated from you. When something is separated from you, that's going to create fear, doubt, anxiousness, frustration, whatever, because it triggers that you don't have it yet. So from that visualization, next step in the protocol, you are going to create an identity. Once you create the identity from that, it's quite simple, because you know how to think, you know how to feel, you know how to act. You create an identity, which we call identity scripting, right? And then we just use alchemy. And we tap into that identity every single day until we have enough repetition, because that's the only way we can rewrite our code. It's with repetition and emotional intensity. That's how your brain has been wired. Everything that you've learned as a kid, your subconscious, trust me, you're running on your subconscious system. You're not running on the conscious system. You can say, I'm disciplined. But once that nervous system gets triggered, it will trigger emotion. Your subconscious will activate the old identity. What's going to happen? Suddenly you're drinking, smoking, and whatever, and you're living the crappiest lifestyle, and you're texting like, "Oh, girls are bad. This month is just not a good month for my business." Whatever it may be, right? That's what happens, and it happens so fast. That's what I teach the people I work with, is what we call catching the first domino. If you train yourself, like I have clients coming in the first week or the first weeks, and they don't know about catching the first domino yet, how to actually do it. So what happens is they don't catch the first domino in their head. What happens is it all falls down. It's like a little cardbox house, right? It just flies away. Everything gets demolished. And what happens? It starts with one little piece of resistance that triggers the whole system to go into scarcity, into fear, into doubt, anxiety. It's not going to happen. Why is it not happening? If you're doing that, send me a message. Of course, I want to see you win, but let me already give you some advice as well in this video. It's quite simple. Bro, this man making noise in the street for what? This guy is separated. He's proving himself. So that's why you gotta shift that identity. That's why you gotta do the identity work. Because you cannot allow yourself to operate from the old identity again. Because if you don't catch a domino, your whole week could be to shit. It starts with a small piece of resistance and it goes so fast. And that's why I train the people that I work with to catch it way faster. If you can catch it, and that's the beauty in life, if you can catch it like in a minute, in like 5 minutes, because you know what the resistance triggers are. I'm giving you literally value. Learn what your resistance triggers are, like a client not responding, a business deal doesn't work, a sales call is canceled, a girl doesn't respond to you. Like it could be anything, right? Once you understand your personal triggers, because you know your old identity, you know what core thing you're missing. Once you understand the triggers, once you see it, you cannot unsee it. And you can change it instantly. So learn what your triggers are. What are the triggers? What is giving me resistance? Trace the sequence backwards. Read your reality as a mirror, because reality is just a freaking mirror. And once you see it, you cannot unsee it, my guy. And then you fix it. And then you shift back into the beautiful state. Then we go to Tony Robbins. You don't want to be in a suffering state. You want to be in a beautiful state all the time. I'm giving you the key to life here. I was just going to make it about a vision board. And I'm just telling you everything. That's what it is. So you change your source code. You cannot have two managers in your head, because if you have an old identity and you have a new identity, reality is constantly choosing between one or two. So you make it one, because everything is one. We cannot be two identities, because the subconscious is always going to win. And what does the subconscious want? It wants to go back to what is comfortable, what is safe. Oh yeah, let's go back to the old identity. Let's go smoke and drink. Let's party. You know, that's what the old identity does. So you don't allow that by only having one new identity. And how do you do that? By removing resistance. And then you will move with conviction and you will become a killer. And then you will win. Because people that win, they don't have a vision board. People that win, they move with conviction, faith, and they take action from that version. So for today, forget about this stupid vision board and ask yourself, am I operating from the old identity? Or am I operating from the new identity? Because there can only be one identity that you operate from. There's only one manager. There's only one version of you that's operating. Kind of want to do a different accent for this one. So remember, when the trade don't go your way, yeah, I feel like a different accent. So remember, when it to make it really get into your head. So let's go a little bit like this. So when a trade goes against you, when a girl don't respond to y'all, when something in business goes wrong, y'all not let yourself be confirmed by the world, you see? Because once ye be confirmed by the world, you're fucked. It's in the Bible. I'm not going to edit this out. I'm going to keep it in. I'm curious how many people are going to see this anyway. So, do not be conformed by the world. But the world is just Fugazi. The kingdom of God is within you. As you can not see, it's on the top here maybe. Or it's not. It's be still and know that I'm God. But do not, these three. Be still and know that I'm God. The kingdom of God is within. And when resistance shows up, you train yourself. Remember, do not be conformed by the world. And just be still and know that I'm God. So now you have one choice to make. Are you really serious about changing your life, or are you just watching another self-help video? Because the people that I know that win, they invest in themselves. So if you're serious about changing this is exactly what I do with my clients in the Source Protocol. I work with them for 3 months, and usually they are winning way faster if they do the work. And I love it when they don't do the work, but because then we got work to do. And the beautiful thing is, as you can see from my energy, as you can see from my health, from everything, from my business sides, I'm killing it in life. And you want your coach to be a winner and a killer, because that means I know what I'm talking about. Have you seen my journey? Have you seen where I started? Lost all that weight, quit my job, built a trading business, scaled trading funding. Now I'm building this business. I have my investments. everything that I need because I'm not conformed by the world. Do you think I listened to the voices of people saying trading is not working, trading is a scam? Do you think I was conformed by the world? No. I just didn't know how to name it. I went through everything. So take my advice. What I'm saying here works. So I genuinely want to see you win. And the beautiful thing is, I was meant to transform people. I could give you my birth date. You can read my numerology. You can read my astrology. You can see it all for yourself. I was born to do transformations. I love this shit. I live this shit. I can't make it up, right? I know that I love this shit. And that makes it that I want to see you guys win as well. And you know, I work with a lot of coaches. The coaches that wanted to see me win, I had the best coachings from. So if you want to work with me, I got a limited amount of spots left. Send me a message if you're a killer, but you just don't see it yet. I'm going to show you that you are already that killer and that you're going to be winning at anything in life that you touch. And remember, we're all the same consciousness. So when I'm making you win, automatically I'm making the consciousness win and I'm winning myself. So if you're ready, send me a message. And to finalize everything, remember, my friend, you're already complete. It's already within you, the kingdom of God. And please take action and do not be conformed by the world. Peace. Jordi out.